You know, I've got a lot of great memories about my dad. One was that he was my first coach. Coached our Little League team. I'd never pitched a game until I pitched against the Early Birds. With Dad as the coach and his son on the mound, the Early Birds pounded his son. I think they scored 10 runs in the first inning and we never got anybody out. So we went to the second inning and it started all over again. And so my dad came to the mound and said, "Son, I think maybe right field would be a good spot for you to spend the rest of the game." One of my great opportunities came when there was a fly ball coming right at me in right field, and it nicked the top of my glove and stuck right here, and I caught it like this. It was not a very graceful catch, but it was one of the few outs we got against the Early Birds. Well, you know what? Here's what my dad did. He took that ragamuffin group of young lads through lots of workouts and practices, and we were in the semifinals, one of 4 teams out of, I think it was some 500 they were playing. They were going to play for the championship in Little League. This is 3 years later, okay? And guess who we were playing? The Early Birds. The score was 3-2, Early Birds ahead of the Ozark Tigers. And we had the bases loaded. I believe I was on second base, and I watched as my fellow teammate whiffed, struck out for the final out of the inning, and we lost again to the Early Birds, but with some dignity. Later, I think my dad must have heard me say some hurtful words to the young man who struck out at the plate. I mean, he couldn't have been more than 12 years of age and wasn't a great athlete. But he corrected me and said, "Son, he's your teammate. Respect him. That wasn't right." And he told me to go apologize, which I did. My dad knew that baseball was a game to train young men. He knew that as we go through life, we need coaches. Coaches in character, in spiritual development, in giving. He modeled all those to me as a young lad. This Father's Day, I'm going to be celebrating the life of my father, a life well lived. Hook Rainey, my dad. I miss him.